civil society activists in the room. And what are we saying? We have been there. These are the evidences. How do we go on building on evidences, avoiding the challenges of the past, looking at evolving trends? How do we go on collectively for us to be able to get to a point of zero tolerance of VOG in our community? That is the essence of gathering this quality of stakeholders in this place.
Also speaking to newsmen, lead consultant at the Lockstera Leadership Foundation, Solomon Agbohulu, advocated for a blend of faith-based and legal approaches in tackling violence against women and girls. He traced the root causes of violence to poverty, lack of education, and economic overdependence.
I believe that a blend of these two, faith and law, will go a long way to reducing or addressing this scourge of violence against women and girls. There are things that are causing this violence against women and girls. And so we have to address the root causes to ensure that we arrive at solutions. And so what is paramount for me is education and empowerment. I see it from what we have done so far. Education and empowerment is very important for the girl child, to ensure that at least the issue of dependent largely on the men folk is reduced to the barest minimum.
If Y proves to be stubborn, what is it expected of him to do? First and foremost, he was ordered to admonish her. The next steps, if she ignores the admonition and the counseling, he may avoid her. He may distance himself from her bed as a punitive measure. And if that fails, then wadribuhunna is used. Of course, literally, wadribuhunna literally means beat them. But when it comes to practical application of the meaning, the early generation of Muslims who synchronized the revelation of that verse also misunderstood it in the same manner it is misunderstood today. They went to apply it literally, and they were corrected by the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, that was not what was meant.
At the end of the 2 days program, the stakeholders have spoken that violence against women and girls is intolerable in any society, and Nigeria is not different, calling on the government to do the needful. From the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Nasiru Usman, reporting for Signaturetv.
Investigative journalist David Hundeyin has claimed that the United States has effectively secured a long-sought military presence in Nigeria. Hundeyin reacted to a statement from U.S. lawmaker Alex Mooney, who clarified his position on Nigeria and made allegations of Christian genocide. Mooney confirmed that the U.S. and Nigeria have entered a security cooperation agreement to address ongoing violence. Hundeyin said this development shows that the U.S. achieved its goal of establishing a military foothold in the country. Reports also confirm that U.S. troops are now deployed in Nigeria, though the Defense Minister, General Christopher Musa, emphasized they are not combatants. Relations between the two countries had worsened after Nigeria was labeled a country of particular concern by U.S. President Donald Trump in 2025, following a U.S. strike on a terrorist enclave in Sokoto. Recently, ties have improved through renewed military collaboration and partnership. When Governor Peter Mbah assumed office, access to potable water topped his list of early promises with a clear timeline of 180 days. Months later, while initial efforts raised hope, many ENUGU residents say that promise has once again run dry. Correspondent Favor Wachi, who was on the streets of ENUGU to interact with residents, came back with a story of frustration but renewed hope from the Water Corporation.
For decades, access to potable water has remained a major challenge for ENUGU residents. This made the sale of water in tankers and digging of wells and boreholes a viable business in ENUGU. Having felt the plight of ENUGU residents for many years, Governor Peter Mba, shortly after assuming office, pledged to restore
water in this environment. Even sometimes we engage the tankers, but sometimes for days you'll be calling, looking for them. There is no water anywhere to be found. Sometimes they come and give us. We are really suffering from water here.
It has been a terrible situation here, and you will agree with me that the only source through which we get water is from 90 Mile. Now, with the situation surrounding ENUGU State, road construction, other constructions going on and other things has made it so difficult and more expensive. The tanker operators and drivers, it kind of rocketed the price of water.
We have to go with wheelbarrow. At times we use the head to carry a gallon of water from like 2 to 3 poles away. At times you go, you will not see water. You stay for a line to get 1 gallon of water like for 2 hours because there is much population.
They appealed to the government to come to their aid to reduce their hardships.
The government to help us to build this water expression to make us to be easy to us, because of pharmacies are living here. It needs us to. You are begging to government to do us water expression, make us to be follow our members to enjoy the water.
We are appealing to the government to come to our intervention. They should come and help us, at least fix this tap here and every other residential taps. Some people have taps in their houses, but they are not running. So we are appealing to the government to come and help us because we are really suffering.
I would appeal, it's a matter of urgency. He look into the situation and do something quickly, because water is one of the major essentials for human living.
Let them help us and circulate water everywhere, at least so that we will stop stressing. Water is life, so we are supposed to have water everywhere.
The managing director of ENUGU State Water Corporation, Dr. Mike Nwachukwu, however, says the state government is working tirelessly to ensure that the people of ENUGU State have enough water, saying the delay is caused by problems in the distribution network.
A lot of issues like discontinuity. You don't have pipes connected to each other. In some areas, broken pipes. Valves that ought to control the water are not in place. So what has happened is when we send the water in to the city, you have water leaking away.
He, however, assured that areas which already have pipes will get water very soon.
Pipe bursts here and there due to aging pipes. We started to replace them one after the other. And so that's why it's like there's a delay, but the replacement is consistent. And I'm sure very soon we'll get there.
He also raised hopes for those whose areas are not yet reticulated to exercise some patience, assuring that the government has not abandoned them. Nwachukwu lamented the removal of some of the taps provided at some galleries in public places in the metropolis and urged residents to protect such facilities in their areas.
What we tell people, wherever you notice any of those infrastructure being tampered with, report to ENUGU State Water Corporation. Our response team will be there to fix them back. We have zonal officers in every zone in ENUGU. And so, but generally, we should try to protect the infrastructure government has provided for us for our own benefit.
As residents continue to wait, the expectation is that the promises will soon translate into steady access to clean water, at least within the metropolis. In Enugu, Favor Nwachi, Signature TV News.
Public Affairs Analyst Nick Aguli has advised the federal government to hand over the 4 refineries in the country to private investors without further delay. Agule, who featured on New Day on Signature TV, lamented that the 4 refineries have remained moribund for over 20 years, despite the enormous resources pumped into them for maintenance. He said that if the refineries are made functional, they will not only bring revenue to the government, but break the monopoly currently being enjoyed by the Dangote refineries.
Control of the NNPCL, 4 of them. The refineries based in Port Harcourt. In Port Harcourt, you have 2 refineries, the old one and the new one. And then you have a refinery, so there are 4 refineries. And none of these refineries is refining products. In fact, all the refineries have refined products for as far back as, let's say, 20 years. Because even when they came and said Port Harcourt was refining, we all got to know that was just blending.
Faltered the trend of the president constitutional backing. He said the president, who has occupied himself with constant foreign travels, has no time to adequately supervise the ministry.
And have a minimum of 36 ministers, each representing a state. Now, hopefully, that the president is to assign to a minister is not provided by the Constitution. That is left to the president in his state as leader of the executive arm of government to assign. And the President Tinubu has followed the steps of his decision, which is that Buhari or President Buhari to appoint to himself the headship of the ministry. So just like Buhari did for 8 years, President Tinubu has now done getting 3 years as the minister of petroleum. And for me, I would say that it is totally unnecessary. He doesn't even, the president is not required under law to be the minister. As we can all see, this president is traveling a lot. This president is moving from one place to the other. In fact, this year, the president is already away.
A UK-based Nigerian footballer, Saburi Adeniji, who is a left-winger at the Kings Park Rangers Football Club, has died after suffering a severe brain stem injury. The club confirmed that Adeniji, fondly known as Ola, passed away on Friday morning after weeks in intensive care. He reportedly held on long enough for arrangements to be made for his family to travel to the United Kingdom, though his wife and young daughter arrived a day after his death. Kings Park Rangers described the late footballer as a devoted family man and a cherished member of the team, noting that his loss has left the club devastated. Adeniji's death follows earlier public appeals by the club for prayers and financial support after his condition became critical. On January 17th, the club announced that he was bedridden and placed all matches on hold in solidarity. As his health deteriorated, a fundraising campaign was launched to bring his family from Nigeria to the UK. The club disclosed that Adeniji was